Hey there! Today we're going to have a talk about this one. This is the Pininfarina PF1. And sorry, I just had to look at it because Yo sent me a couple of these and I had trouble keep telling them apart. So this is the PF1. It is a triangular profile pen. I like triangular pens. And not everybody does, but I do. So Joost Appelboom lent me this, so kind thank you to that. Don't forget, if you click their banner on the website, you get it on my website, you get a 10% discount there. It might be interesting if you want to purchase this. It's made by Pininfarina, this pen, not the discount, the pen is made by them. Has some interesting things going for it. I will show you the parts. I will do a writing sample. I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Let's get started. PFF. It's actually DFF, DJs, Fans and Freaks, Blank and Jones, look it up, great song. Anyway, Pininfarina PF1. Fun pen, triangular, I'll show it to you in just a second. Let's first look at the box. This is the box. Cardboard outer sleeve, let me try to open this up. What is fun is that inside, it's a bit of paperwork. I mean, there is, filling instructions, etc. And there is this Pininfarina. It's a car manufacturer, isn't it? I don't know anything about cars, so I don't care. That's not the funny bit. The funny bit is it's a triangular pen, and this box is also triangular in profile. I think that is nicely done. It seems to be a fake leather. Smell it. Doesn't smell like real leather, although it's pretty close, actually. PF1, Pininfarina, the whole thing opens up. Pretty cool. I like this design a lot. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. And then it just kind of wraps in with a little magnetic closure. I like this a lot. It's neat, and I will say this, Pininfarina, not a lot of their models I find myself really attracted to. That was a terrible sentence, sorry. But they do cool things in their designs. Okay, so here we have the actual pen right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. About the same girth, but the PF1 is a little longer. Okay, what can I say about the Pininfarina PF1? So mine happens to be a medium, but you can get them extra fine, medium, broad, steel nibs. The body is aluminum, or if you prefer aluminium, triangular profile. I'll show you that in just a second. You have an integrated rotating clip, which is one of my favorite things about this pen. Cartridge converter filled, supplied with a converter, and it costs 111 euros and 57 cents at Appelboom. Again, remember that 10% discount through the banner. Now, where's that triangular profile? Well, here it is. You can more or less see it. It's a little tough because those finials are very reflective. Gotta be careful you can't look up my nose. But it's definitely a triangular profile, which is quite cool. Finial. You have the Pininfarina logo. Sorry, Pininfarina logo. I have to make sure it catches the light correctly. I think it does this way. Pininfarina, quite cool. And then you have this cap, and this is that integrated clip. Now this, seriously, it's a small thing. One of my favorite things about the pen. Note how this clip is entirely integrated with the cap. To the point that I was looking at it and I thought, this barely works. It's so stiff. Who designed this? But the whole thing rotates. I'm grabbing it the wrong way. Is it only goes one way? Okay, if it only goes one way, you shouldn't push it the other way. Sorry. Pininfarina logo again. Now look at this. Rotates. Now it's a perfectly functioning clip. I think that is really nice. And if you say, I don't care about clips, I'm not going to use that clip, push it out of the way, flush with the rest of the cap on all sides. I love that. I really love that. Because sometimes you want a clip and sometimes you don't. Pretty awesome. This pen will not roll off your desk because it's triangular, so that's kind of neat. It won't roll, it'll just spin. May have just spat a little bit, I'm sorry. Good thing you're not here. We have the barrel, nice. It's not a short pen by any means, so that's kind of cool. We have another shiny little end finial there. And then we can uncap the pen, but it's just a snap cap. And we have, and this is going to be very difficult to show you because these are very reflective. I think that works. But you do have faceted grip section there. Number 5 nib in steel. It does not have a breather hole. I wonder if it's a Schmidt nib, because Schmidt nibs number 5 don't have breather holes, but I don't know. I don't know who made this. Stamped, sorry, M for medium. Plastic feed, and then, like I said, cartridge converter filled. Nice touch about this converter is that it screws in, which I always love. Then screw-in converters are less likely to accidentally slip out and end up in the back end of the barrel. Okay, I do want to make sure that it writes because I was waving it around a lot. Otherwise it's unfair. Okay, does seem to write. Perfect. I've played around with it. It's a fairly interesting writer I have found. So let's talk about how it writes. Instead of talking about it, let me just show you how it writes. We have here the Pininfarina PF1. This is not my prettiest writing, but that's because these rings have come off a bit. This is a medium nib, which we already discussed. It's on the back end of the feed. Pretty nice engraving, by the way, of the Pininfarina logo on that nib, and pretty good size overall. Will not post. The ink is Delft's Blauw that I was trying to use up. Ackerman ink, washable blue, quite nice. Joost lent me 8 pens, so I don't want to use super saturated inks and then spend the rest of my life cleaning these pens. Sorry. Nice writer, certainly a bit of feedback. Don't find it scratchy, but you do feel that you're writing with a fountain pen and not with, say, a ballpoint or something. There is a specific type of feedback. Also, triangular sections divide people. I find this one quite comfortable. The nib is aligned properly so that when you hold it, it hits the paper at the right angle, at least for me, but of course your mileage may vary. Wetness, fairly wet. Line variation, it's not advertised as a flex nib. Steel nib, you can squeeze out some, but be very, very careful. Again, not advertised as a flex nib in any way, shape, or form. For those of you who enjoy such a thing, reverse writing is an option. Pen doesn't seem to dry out very quickly, and you definitely go from a medium to a good fine, or maybe even an extra fine. Would be a slightly chubby extra fine, but I mean, there we are. Pretty interesting. There's some things I really like about this pen. So it's mainly the clip, but still, it's a nice writer too. Let's talk about likes and dislikes. What do I like, what do I not like about the Pininfarina PF1? I think the clip is really neat. This rotating clip design sort of clicks into place, very, very light click, is really cool. If you want the clip, you can use it, and if you don't need it, you can just sort of push it to the side. It's flush with the rest of the cap. Don't have to think about it anymore. I think that is really, really neat. It looks cool. Triangular pens, there's something to them, I think. It looks cool. Aluminum or aluminium is always fun. Light material, pretty strong material, so that's quite nice. I find the pen pretty comfortable. The faceted triangular grip section, I think, is quite comfortable. It's a fairly pleasant writer, so that's quite nice too. However, having said that, having talked about the comfort, the section is thin. So if you like girthier sections, this pen is not for you. And there's a pretty substantial drop down. I'm trying to make it catch the light so you can really see that. It's quite a substantial drop down, especially right there at the top. At the bottom, it seems to be a little less pronounced. Now, because of the facets on the section, I haven't really had trouble with it. It hasn't bothered me, but I know there are people who are quite sensitive to step downs, and especially on top here, things do get a little sharp. So if that is not your thing, it would probably be best to steer clear of this pen, as the kids say. Beyond that, I think 111 euros is certainly not cheap. Aluminum pen, steel nib, but you know, you get a converter supplied, so that saves a little bit. You don't have to purchase that separately. Still, it's not a... Sorry, I think I may have hit my mic, I'm sorry. It's not an inexpensive pen. It's just not. So that's something you need to be aware of. And that's it. I hope this was useful. A very kind thank you to Joost for lending me the pen, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.